Hello, this is Mark Weiss. I'm shooting this video for the Troop 33 Tustin 60-year reunion and barbecue. I also happen to be the current webmaster, and I just thought for those of you who can't make it up to the Scout House that I would take you up. And the first thing we have is the Scoutmaster, our former Scoutmaster, a few former Scoutmasters all riled up in one, Tony Fiduk.
How you doing? Welcome to Troop 33, or welcome back to Troop 33. We're celebrating 60 years. And if you remember, this is our Scout House main room. And for the purposes of today, we have tried to exhibit as much of the history that covers 6 decades as we can. What we have first over here is recognition of Tustin Presbyterian Church that, per their session minutes in 1952, actually mentioned Troop 33 being chartered underneath their church, and that's where it all began.
Okay, and what's this?
Well, we were fortunate enough to have Juanita Lovered, who writes for the Tustin News, Orange County Register, do a piece on our troop over the 60 years. We received a certificate of recognition by the school board here in Tustin.
All right. And then what do we have next?
What's the story? We've laid out a lot of items that we still have, and yet we're really not quite sure where they came from and what it's all about. So for our visitors today that were scouts in the 60s, 70s, or 80s, 90s, you know, if they recognize any of this stuff and know the history of where it came from and how it was used, we're kind of asking them to go ahead and let us know.
All right. And let me just catch this up here. Reflector oven. That's nice. Now we've got the camping log, and before I go any farther, let me just show on the room. You have ribbons up here. What are the ribbons?
Ribbons have been awards that we've been presented with at various camps that we've attended, camporees, for certain attendance records within the councils. And the first one starts in 1958, and it continues on, and we're displaying those now continually as we receive them, as opposed to having just been one big wad of ribbons on our troop flag.
Okay. And so what do we have with the, what is this map?
This is actually a Girl Scout Council map, and it really, I believe, and I'm not quite sure why it's in our possession, that's why we're asking, but it's, I think, Camp Sherman.
Okay. But
it was found in our files, so I don't know if we were planning a raid on the Girl Scout camp or not.
And then, wait, before we go up, this is actually the bridge that we use?
Yes, this is our monkey bridge, and we're going to be setting that up as a display outside for tomorrow morning's opening ceremony.
Okay. And then we have these patches.
These patches, I've been told, some of them are very, very rare, and they go back quite a while, whether or not they're certain position patches, such as Scoutmasters and those type of things, Eagle patches, rank patches. A lot of them are camp. Well, there's one up there from Philmont, which is very, very difficult to get. Most people that go to Philmont and are awarded a patch don't give it up. So this is all you know, spanning the history. Not quite sure who lacquered them on, but that's where they are. When we first started as a troop, we were not part of the Orange County Council, but the Orange Empire. They dissolved in 1972, but we have a lot of memorabilia from being underneath that council. If you come forward over here, we're absolutely blessed that we have been able to preserve records. And right here on this table, we have individual scout records. So whether you were a scout, again, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, you could come here and find when you came into the troop, your rank advancement dates, your merit badge dates, and it really is neat to be able to come back and find yourself.
All right, and a few neckerchiefs I see over here.
This is a wall of all kinds of really very old memorabilia, whether or not it's the neckerchiefs, that some of them go back, again, probably 50 years. We have pins and patches and items that really, I think, are extremely rare and unique.
All right, and then what about up here?
Well,
we aren't a troop, we're a troop, not a post.
Well, there was a point in time early on, probably from the mid-60s, and it existed for about 11, 12 years, to where we had an explorer post, which was for older boys and girls. It operated with this troop, and we had probably about 20, 25 boys and girls that would do camping. And again, it was for, I think, 16 to 20-year-olds.
All right. And let's not forget the, what is it, the cannon that shoots ping pong balls.
You got it. Over the years, we've had potato cannons, we've had ping pong cannons. We are a troop that enjoys celebrating cannons.
All right, so, we need to talk about this.
This is a very unique blueprint. It was done by Mr. Rui in 1970, and it is the blueprint for what was the proposed Jim Brashear's Memorial fire ring and amphitheater for Lost Valley. It is there. It was built by Troop 33 with the help of the Prizio family and their construction company, but it was in memoriam of a very, very beloved scoutmaster in the early to mid-60s, Jim Brashear's.
Well, cool, because the boys are going to Lost Valley, so hopefully we'll make sure they get to see that.
Yep, there's a plaque, and they'll look for it, and they'll find it.
Okay, so what do we have here in this display case?
Well, we have a mixture of old and new, and some of it is awards and trophies. We used to have patrol competitions, and whoever won that particular month or quarter would get to keep that in their patrol room. This is a sign that we've had for, I don't know how long, but pretty much forever. Then there's some new items here that the current Scoutmaster, Mark Thomas, is very gifted in terms of model making, and before we pretty much set to make anything, he does a scaled down model. And so these are some of the bridges and things that we've looked at, and some of the little other models that he's put together. The good tent, bad tent.
So let's see here. We got a good tent with a nice little bed, and the bad tent. Oh man, what a mess.
Yep.
All right, and then we've got the nice models for bridging. So those are nice. And a manual for knots and splicing.
Yep.
Can't live without that.
That's right.
All right, so then what do we have next? Oh,
Well,
do we have, is there anything about the shirt up there that you know?
We had a group of boys that went to the 2000 World Jamboree, and they did a lot of patch exchange, and that's a shirt that I think that they traded for.
All right. So we got an upper level and a lower level. I think what we'll do is let's talk about the lower level first, and then we'll come back and do the upper level.
Well, over the years, it became kind of a tradition that when we went out on certain campouts, whether it be summer camp, winter camp, or just plain campouts, that a lot of times the boys would put together a poster. And so what you see here is an array of posters, just kind of documenting trips that we've had over the years. One's about a car wash that we had, a fundraiser, and we've tried to preserve these as best we can, and not allow them to be lost. It seems that prior to the early 90s, most of what we have is either on just pictures themselves or slides. A lot of slides this troop had.
Okay. Yeah, so here's Newport Dunes, and we can see people on the beach, and some sailing, and there's a winter trip, so we got some snow, and I just want to go through this and just say which one is this, just memories, different camping scenes. I've never much been into camping, but I have to say after seeing some of these slides, I've started to go camping, or pictures.
Troop 33 has a style of camping that, you know what, we work hard, we play hard, we have fun, we eat well, and, it's a team shared process. And this is a troop that is very, very active. We go out either on a backpack, a hike, we go to summer camps and camporees, but I will tell you, we do something at least one every month, and the variety and the quality of the places that we go, Colorado River, north or south, we pick good places and have a lot of fun.
All right, so now let's do the top level. What do we have here?
What we have here are wall plaques that actually were put together and presented to the troop by the Cipriano family, but it is all the staff positions, and it's kind of a whiteboard approach. So it gives the description and what their responsibilities are for whether you're a senior patrol leader, assistant senior, quartermaster. And below we had a father by the name of Charlie Onabeni. His son was an Eagle. He did all the framings. And we also have the patches that the boy would wear to designate his staff position on each one of the frames. At the top, there's whiteboard, and you can see names. And so as the boys have their elections and they elect new positions, the boys for new positions every 6 months, they will erase the former boy that was in that position and put their name in.
All right. So yeah, we've got going through all the way, we've got senior patrol leader, assistant senior patrol leader, the troop quartermaster, librarian, historian, then the troop scribe, the troop guide, the chaplain aide, and another patrol leader.
Well,
oh, that's the individual patrol leader.
That's probably the toughest job by a boy in this troop, is to be a patrol leader when you're really at peer level and trying to kind of focus and control a group. That's, to me, the
I'm going to catch these two more. Yep, herding cats.
Yep.
If you've been a parent.
Yep.
And then we have den chief.
Yes. And den chief is a boy that is a scout that is assigned to a Cub Scout den. And he'll go and work with them and help them in some of their advancement at the Cub level. So that's, and they get to wear a special little shoulder loop to designate that they're the den chiefs. And then finally we have Order of the Arrow Troop representatives.
Yep, okay. And what does the Order of the Arrow Troop representative do?
They're kind of a particular small tapped out group. When I say tapped out, you have to be requested to be into that organization.
Okay.
And they fulfill certain other service kind of operations for the council itself at various camps that they have.
All right. And lastly, we've got some arrows. I'm assuming,
paddles.
I'm sorry, not arrows, yeah, paddles, sorry.
Yep, those are where we took first place at certain camps, summer camps, which are week-long camps, and they'll put on events at the culmination of the week, aquacades and things like that. Actually, the one on the bottom, the larger one, was where we took first place in 2000, and then we repeated that in 2011. So it's pretty neat when we get those type of awards, and we try to display them as appropriately as we can.
All right. And then these are going to be some awards that are going to be given out tomorrow, right?
Yes. Part of what we're doing is to not just display, but to actually create some interactive competition, friendly competition between members of this troop for 60 years. And so we have a bow saw competition, we're going to have knot tying, we're going to have a semi-4 competition, and we're going to be awarding those top people. We're going to, in the hall, have a Pinewood Derby track set up, which is ours. We have our own Pinewood Derby track. And then we've got a couple recognitions. Those that traveled the farthest to attend this reunion, the oldest Scoutmaster that shows up, and the oldest Eagle Scout and committee chair are all going to receive recognition.
Since you've been that 4 times, I'm assuming you're excluding yourself, maybe?
Well, I'm not the oldest. I know that we're going to have a few Scoutmasters that'll probably be in their 80s. They're going to be showing up.
Okay. But probably done it the most time might be you?
No, I actually had been, but I got overtaken by Mark Thomas, who right now is, I think, on his 5th year.
Oh, okay.
You see that, and we have actually recognition of committee chair and the Scoutmasters over the years, where you may get committee chairs that will be 3, 4, or 5 years sometimes. The Scoutmaster's position generally turns pretty regularly, and for good reason.
Yeah, but we're really lucky with Mark.
Yes, we
Mark
are.
Thomas is just outstanding.
Well, we call him Scoutmaster MacGyver because he's very, very good at putting things together. This is a little alcove where we have different trophies and little things that we've won, whether it be at winter Klondikes or summer camps. There's just an array, a mix spanning, pretty much the history. Over on this one wall, we have the Silver Beaver Award for Troop 33 connected adults. That's the highest award that can be presented to an individual by the council, and we've been fortunate to have 13 over the years, or 14, excuse me, and it really is quite an honor to be able to have that bestowed.
Yeah, it seems like there's something we're going to run into a lot since we ran through this before, and that was Mr. Rui has been around a long time. But something else that I've seen amazing is that the Schmidt family has really been involved in Troop 33, because when I see the first name and the last name, there's Walter Schmidt, there's Don Schmidt, and when we look, we can also see the assistant Cub Master is David Schmidt.
Yes.
And me with names. And also, he was the 100th Eagle Scout here.
He's on our wall of Eagles, which we're up to, celebrating 189 have reached the rank of Eagle with Troop 33. He was number 100 in 1981, and he's back. He has 3 boys in the troop, and it's neat to see that type of recycling of affiliation.
Right. We'd go left right about here, but that's just a door to go to the upstairs where we can store stuff. So what do we have here?
Well, we have tried to preserve and to display as best we can sessions, photos of summer camps. And so most of what you're seeing here is different summer camps that we have that we've gone to over the years.
There's just some Old Town Tustin
That's
pictures.
just before Troop 33 started, I think, some of those views. But yeah, it really is.
I'm going to skip a few just because we can't do them all right now.
What was interesting is for most of the history of this troop, we always went to Lost Valley. It was our council's home campsite, and it wasn't until the early 90s that we decided to rotate and to go to a few other places, and we started going to camps like Emerald Bay and Whitson, and yes, we would continue to go to Lost Valley, but generally every about 3 or 4 years. This summer, we're going to Lost Valley.
Yeah, I just thought I'd point out, since the Schmidt family has been so popular, we have a son right here, and we have Mr. Schmidt, who is David.
Right.
Who is the assistant scoutmaster.
Correct.
All right. Oh, we can't forget about this.
This is our wall of advancement, and it really is something that the boys should feel good and be able to see tangibly how they're advancing within rank. And so this has been going on for as long as I know that we have the little plaques, we recycle them, but we show and display those that have reached Eagle recently, those that are in tenderfoot, second class, first class, star in life. Also on the walls over here are some of the trips made by this troop to Philmont, which is a very exclusive camp where the boys will go out on a 10-day hike, usually averaging about 100 to 120 miles. And it's filled with a lot of interesting venues, but it is at high altitude, and I would say fewer boys go to Philmont than make Eagle. It's
wow.
Really something to go there.
All right.
This is our main activity room where...
Let me just get kind of a sweep of the room, and then we can start with the first section in this room.
All right. And first, though, I'd like to point out this is our wall that we have the name plaques of all of our Eagles. And the first one is from 1961 is Gary Vanderpool. And
well, I don't even know if they can see it, but there is a list. If you go to troop33.ocbsa.org, there is a list of all 189 Eagles on the Eagles section.
Yep. And then we have our patrol rooms, and for the sake of what we wanted to do today is to kind of change up the patrol room. So for example, the Cobra patrol room for today, what we're doing is we're displaying our full set of leatherworks that we house in a cabinet in the Cobra patrol room. But today, anybody that wants to go ahead and make a keepsake for free, we have all of the items, and we have had these items for years and years and years to be able to make a keychain or a neckerchief slide, and all of the different posts and hammers. This is all Troop 33. I don't know of too many other troops that are fortunate enough to be able to have this at their disposal that they own.
Yep. So then just a few more things here is, let me just go in here and give you, there's the leather work badge book. And
I'll show you one thing that I found as I was clearing out. This is a belt that was purchased for the 1964 National Jamboree. I mean, we have things, artifacts here that are just, you know, very timeless.
looks like a rope tying.
Lashings.
Yep. All right, so on to the next one.
The next is the Panther Patrol Room, which for the purposes of today is to be the time capsule displaying 1952 to 1969. Everything that is in this patrol room on display today is from that time period. So whether or not we have 1962 Colorado River Expedition, we have all the river trips that were taken by the troop down the Colorado, we have Court of Honor, we have just, again, a wealth of time-specific materials here.
Right, and this, the minutes of the session for the church, Tustin Presbyterian, discusses why we know that the troop was started officially at the Tustin Presbyterian Church.
Yep.
Because of these documents, the
minutes from session that they put on, that's right.
Yep.
We have against the back wall some troop charters through the 60s. Here's a page out of a little binder from 1966 showing the right patches for that time period. We have awards and trophies that are all set. One of my favorites that I have found as we've been preparing, here's some wax paper from 1957 that's never been opened and used. We have all kinds of different menus from the 1960s. Here's something that people might find of interest. It's a little Parks Are Forever catalog, and it has a little opening by the governor of the state, Edmund G. Brown, so the current governor's father. And so these are all artifacts, really. On this wall over here, we have neckerchiefs from 1966 down at Camp Pendleton and the National Jamboree in '69.
Yep, and more
all
awards.
Kinds of awards. One of my favorite books that I found that is, we really don't do a whole lot of backpacking with Burro anymore, but you know what? There was a time.
Hey, we were just this last Thanksgiving at the Grand Canyon.
Oh, they still do the rides up and down there?
Oh, yeah. And what's this hat?
That's just a hat that was, the type of Boy Scout hat that they wore in the 50s and 60s. And here's our 100% Boys Life magazine that everybody who was a member was getting that magazine back in 1963.
Okay.
The next patrol room is Rattlesnake, and it's been converted to go ahead and honor all of what we could find to display today from the period 1970 to 1989. So, again, you have documents that are, they're from that time period.
Right, more Colorado River trips. You've got this nicely organized, more pictures. And we've even got Eagle Award applications and the books they use to figure out what what they do for their Eagle project. Patrol and leadership books. So yeah.
Rosters. There was a point in time where this troop enjoyed going out and panning for gold. And so we have actually the pans still.
Oh, look at this. A songbook. We should use this.
Well, we have plenty of them still around, and that was from a long ago that we sang a lot more as a troop back then than we do now. But it isn't to say we can't start again. Part of visiting your past is to bring some of it forward. Yep,
and we just did some Dutch oven cooking. That we still do. And so then, and here, if anybody wants to see the skin of a rattlesnake.
We had that put together by Mr. Onabeni, whose son was a rattlesnake, and I think he did a nice job. I don't know the history of where that snake came from, but and so we continue to have more stuff that we're showing. 1975, the Moose Patrol, and all the boys that were a part of it. Here's the Flaming Arrow Patrol from 1974. There was a time when, and you can see this is a permit to go on a camp out to Baja, Mexico.
Right.
It was over the 4th of July weekends in the early 70s that this troop would venture down to Baja, camp out, and shoot off a lot of fireworks. Again, remembering that, we like anything that goes boom. We actually got written up in the Los Angeles Times, 1974. Some people were down there and really thought it was just terrific that this troop was down there celebrating the 4th. This is the actual...
Here, let me back up for this. This is special.
Sure. This is special. This is the Scoutmaster's uniform of Donna Constantine. She was the first, not just the first woman Scoutmaster of Troop 33, but the first woman Scoutmaster in the Orange County Council. So this was back in 1989, and you can see the pictures, and she was wearing this shirt and her jacket, and she donated that to the troop just within the last couple of weeks to be a part of the display.
Okay, so now let's talk about Mr. Rui.
Yeah, Mr. Rui. You know, you can't say enough about Mr. Rui. Anybody that was a part of this troop up until just a few years ago knew Mr. Rui. He was with this troop for over 50 years. He ran it and took care of it and was passionate about it being a strong, active troop. And so this is our tribute to Mr. Rui. We turned the office into a display of a lot of things that Mr. Rui did. He hand-kept all the records. He took care of the charters, individual records, and he did it old-fashioned. He kept hand reports on every single boy, and he did it by using stencils and old ditto machines, and it's just amazing how he created what he created and did what he did for so many years. A couple of years before he passed away in 2007, we initiated the Rui Award, which recognizes anyone who does above and beyond. There will never be another Mr. Rui. There is no way that anybody could contribute to this troop, but we have had people that have done an incredible volunteer service to this troop, and they're listed on that award.
We'll see this name a few times, I think.
Well, you get it once. It's a one-timer.
No, I mean in this trip. We'll see that name again.
Well, we run across it. And so this is, again, little things about Mr. Rui that I think people that knew him would get a kick out of this and some of the things that we have. This is Mr. Rui and his wife Lois in their later years, and he was devoted to her. She passed away a couple years before him, and you know, we miss him. The next room we have is the Eagle Patrol room. And again, for our reunion, we've gone ahead and we're looking to display things that are relative to 1990 to today, to year number 60. And so again, we have posters and we have sayings.
Oh, you can keep, if you've had anything else. I'm just going to go.
Oh, absolutely. No, there's some you know, interesting styles of how the boys put together the posters. I think you can see some that were more parent done than kid done, but you know, all of them memorialize that the boys of this troop, the parents of this troop, have had a quality camping program and have enjoyed their time out in nature, which is one of the things that that Boy Scouts does. It brings the outdoors to boys that otherwise may not get that opportunity.
Yep. Oh wait, who's this guy?
That's that Scoutmaster Fiduk. What can I say?
Yep, let's see here.
Yeah, there you go. They haven't changed.
And this is from 2003.
Yep. Yep. And then we have a little collection of things that are out on the, you know, summer camps that we have. You got to keep the skeeters away. We also have done a lot of trips that are unique, and as a troop, we visited the Midway. We've gone to Civil War reenactments that they put on, so we've kind of done that. We do High Sierra trips. All of that is kind of set forth here in this troop for that time period. We really like Emerald Bay. Even though it's a Los Angeles County Council's troop, we've gone there and enjoyed it. And one of the last trips they put together this flag, which I think is pretty terrific.
Okay.
This particular patrol room, the Scorpions, we moved out all of their hardware, their boxes and cookware.
Let me let the mothers know. See, it is actually clean. They're not eating off dirty dishes.
This tomorrow is going to be where we're going to have our bow saw competition, is the Scorpions patrol room. And we're going to set that up. We're going to be timing people and see how long it takes them to cut through a log, and we'll award a trophy. We also have our Pinewood Derby track here, which we're going to set up in Fellowship Hall. But that is our track. And we found out something a lot of years ago, that just because a boy isn't a Cub Scout doesn't mean he still doesn't like Pinewood Derby. So we still have some fun. Over here we have our array of merit badge books and basically our library of resource materials that we keep under lock and key so it doesn't just kind of float away. We have actually a boy that, for what we can tell, had the most merit badges. Most boys have low 30s, and I've seen a few get just over 40, but we had a boy that hit 50. And we're still searching the records to see if somebody had more. Next, we kind of have a little bit of a display of some of the things that we're doing to make winter caps a little bit more fun. So
Let me say about this, because I was there when our troop master, or scout master, we call MacGyver, Mr. Mark Thomas, he made these out of PVC and just rope, and literally just heated them up, bent them into shape, and then just lashed them together.
Nope, and I hear they work.
Oh yeah, they worked.
Yep. And that was the first prototype made by a fella. His name was Gary Stone, and he was a kind of a MacGyver, but
we happen to have Gary Stone here.
Right there.
I'm not taking responsibility for that.
But I'll tell you what, the one thing about Gary Stone is he likes to change directions. So he built one that you could pull. I will tell you, I rode it once down a pretty steep hill, and I will tell you, I went to turn it left and it still went straight. So I don't know if that's a issue of mass and acceleration versus traction.
By the way, Gary, yes. I just wanted to say, because you're also very active, and you took my son out because of the plane that you have, and your wife has helped my son with merit badges, and you guys, even though your son is already out of the troop by a few years, that you're still very involved, very helpful.
Well, there's a lot of boys that we've watched go through the ranks here, and so we didn't want to just like drop them cold. We wanted to make sure that there was a continuity, and as we've done that, it's just been something we've enjoyed continuing on with. So something we feel good about.
And just as a parent, it's really nice to see that people are still hanging on to Troop 33 and that it's made that much of an impact.
Well, we don't know if we're going to go as far as Mr. Rui did, but
everybody's fear is to be the next Mr. Rui. I don't want to put in 50 years, but it's a labor of love. It really is.
Yeah, especially when you have a lot of boys go through it. You've seen a lot of parents come through, and you just want to do the give back thing.
Yep. So. All right, thanks.
On this wall, we're going to have the semi-4 competition. It actually was a requirement at one point in time in Boy Scouts, and I believe up and through the late 70s, that you had to know it. It wasn't an option. And so we're going to see how many folks actually still remember a little bit of the semi-4, and we're having a competition. Next to that, we kind of have a little bit of a tribute and a history of our High Sierra camping. This troop has always had a summer High Sierra. It's been designated for the older boys, the ones that really have proven themselves that they can be at 10,000 feet and handle that. And they go off, and you'll see in these pictures the snow. I'm telling you, this is the late June, early July. Where they're going is really High Sierra. we are fortunate that we have some maps. The one up here on the top right, this may look like a brand new map, but when we bought it, it was only 10 cents in 1958. So we have a legacy of absolute material
I don't know if that
that
focuses.
is just amazing, and it's neat. It's like going into the archives here at Troop 33, and that is something that we take very seriously, being able to preserve with respect and honor the history of this troop.
Yep, and again, more High Sierra. And I didn't even know. We have I probably have seen it, but that's a nice telescope.
Yeah, we, I would say maybe every other year we go up to Palomar, and they have a little bigger telescope, but we bring ours, and it's a lot of fun. Right up here, we have a plaque that recognizes and honors, and as best as we've been able to fill in, all of the Scoutmasters and troop committee chairs over the years.
I'll just kind of go over this. I don't know how well it's going to, but I think you're listed on this side a few times.
Yes, I've been called into duty and back into duty a few times, and I've always been happy to do so.
All right.
And that's pretty much the full quarter tour. And again, we're very much appreciative of the people that started this troop and those that have kept it going, and those of us that are still involved hope that 30, 40, 50 years from now, our kids will be able to come back and be able to find their name and see a picture and know that this troop is still going strong.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.